Welcome back. Let's now introduce the top brass of 3 publicly traded biotechnology companies who will try to convince us that their experimental drug therapy is worth investing in. First, we have Groome, Bioniche Life Sciences Executive Vice President, Corporate and Strategic Development, who are currently working on an experimental cancer drug. Next, we have Donald J. McCaffrey, Resverlogix, who are currently working on an experimental cardiovascular drug. And we have Executive Chairman David Allan from Stem Cell Therapeutics Corp, who focuses on the development of drug-based therapies to treat central nervous systems diseases, including the treatment of stroke. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Bioniche, you're working on a new treatment for bladder cancer. Could you please tell our viewers something about it?
Well, it's actually a very common cancer, but it has a lower profile. Bladder cancer is, in fact, the number 4 cancer in men. But there haven't been new therapies developed of note for this disease for over 30 years, so we hear less about it.
Okay.
What we're working on is a new therapy that is entering into a second phase 3 or pivotal trial currently, and in a first phase 3 trial showed very good results in ability to treat many otherwise unresolvable cases.
Okay. Bioniche also has animal health and food safety units. So what should our viewers know about those?
Those currently generate revenues for us. We have sales on the order of $30 million per year from our animal health and food safety divisions, and we're growing those, the profitability of those divisions as well. We have some very exciting new products coming out of there, one of which, for example, is a vaccine administered to cattle to protect people from the dangerous form of E. coli that we frequently read about outbreaks in food and water.
Well, you've just jumped a step ahead. I was actually just going to ask you about that vaccine. So what exactly does it do?
Well, that vaccine works to block the attachment proteins that these bacteria use to colonize the intestines of cattle. So if it can't colonize, then in fact it can't reproduce, and we don't have the problems in the food and water in the environment.
And what would you say are Bioniche's current challenges?
Like all companies in our industry, we have challenges with sourcing capital from investors and working in a highly regulated environment where there's a lot of rigor that we need to go through before our products are permitted to access the markets where we see them benefiting the public.
Okay. Where would you like to see Bioniche in the next, say, 5 years?
First and foremost would be getting our bladder cancer therapy out to many patients in need. We certainly have an ongoing large clinical trial, and if any of the viewers know people that are afflicted, certainly they can contact us, our partner Endo Pharmaceuticals, or one of the many participating urologists. We also would see the revenues of our animal health and food safety divisions growing quite considerably, and then, of course, benefiting our shareholders with sustained profitability.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Next, Donald from Resverlogix. What are your current products in development, and do any have the potential to be a disruptive technology in relation to the existing therapies in your field?
Yes, we have 3 products currently. One is cardiovascular, one is an Alzheimer's product, and one is autoimmune. And the main one is actually the cardiovascular, and it definitely has the ability to be disruptive to the current market. The current market is really controlled by the statin products, where you have drugs like Lipitor and Zocor and Crestor that actually manage the lipid buildup. They stop it from getting worse, but they cannot remove it. Our drug actually removes the atherosclerotic plaque. And it's a very large market.
Yeah.
Currently it's $35 billion for the atherosclerosis management, and that's shared by only 12 companies. And those are for drugs that create a status quo or making sure the buildup doesn't get worse. We're believing a drug that removes the plaque itself will have quite an impact, quite a change on the market. The rest of the market seems to be focused on a concept called CETP. Okay. And what they're doing is they stop a filled large HDL molecule, the good cholesterol, they stop it from leaving the system, and they result in a higher HDL level. But that HDL is already filled and is not going to go back in the arterial wall and take out any more plaque. So our approach is to create brand new flat ones that then go in the arterial wall and take the plaque out in the proper reverse cholesterol transport method.
Okay, so what's your current status for the clinical development of RVX-208?
We have two phase 2B trials ongoing right now.
Okay.
It's really quite important for us because most drug development companies, if you're in oncology or central nervous system, you really need robust phase 3 data to get proper valuations from a pharmaceutical company. Whereas in phase 2B, we've literally put a camera inside the patient's heart and prove that we have plaque regression. So it is very much an inflection point for us at the end of phase 2B, which will be in about 1 year only.
What is the involvement of key opinion leaders and stakeholders in your program development?
We've had an enormous inclusion of the global cardiovascular leaders, the key opinion leaders. Included a lot of key pharmaceutical members on our board of directors. We have people, including the past chairman and CEO of Bayer, past president of Abbott, the head of global research and development from Roche and Boehringer Ingelheim. So we do have pretty much 10 of the top key opinion leaders globally, and we're still adding. There's a lot of people interested in being involved with Resverlogix.
What exactly is the current future of lipid management market?
Well, the market is enormous. I did mention the size of it already. It's a $35 billion market. Now, in comparison to cancer, just so the viewers get an understanding, cancer market altogether, the oncology products, are about 25 billion, and that's shared by 200 companies. So with a product that has plaque regression and currently does not have a competitor even in development, we have about a 6-year head start on all other companies, and there's no shortcut in biotechnology.
No. I can't imagine
it's looking
there would
pretty
be.
good. Yes.
Now on to David Allan. How are you?
Andra?
Your company's in the business of stem cells and regenerative medicine.
Correct.
What are those?
Stem cells are the fundamental cells behind all the cells in your body and all the tissue, so that stem cells continuously divide and create the other cells in your body and the rest of the tissue. There are essentially two kinds of stem cells: embryonic stem cells, which are completely unformed and can become anything at all in the body, and adult stem cells, which tend to be less universal, perhaps, than embryonic stem cells. So stem cells are then either farmed from the body or manufactured and either administered into a patient or processes are used to stimulate the patient's own stem cells, with the result that the patient can either restore cells that are damaged or lost and can actually repair entire these parts of organs.
Wow.
So that this is an absolute revolution in medicine. Up until now, medicine has been used to treat the symptoms of disease or to prevent the progression of disease. This is the first time in history the use of stem cells, when fully developed, will be able to actually replace organs, such as parts of the heart after infarct, or cells in the brain after stroke.
Tell me now, how many public companies are in your field, and how does yours differ?
Astonishingly, there are only about 50 companies worldwide, 50 public companies worldwide, commercially developing the extraordinary amount of basic research that's ongoing everywhere across this planet. The largest company in the field is $1 billion, and there's only one of those in terms of market value. There are 35 companies in North America. There are 3 in Canada, and of the 3, we are the only one. Stem Cell Therapeutics Corp is the only one in this country that's actually in the therapeutic end of the business. The average market capitalization across the entire industry worldwide is only $40 million, which is extraordinarily low, which means that if indeed these therapies have the promise that the research suggests, then there's a very good prospect for these companies from an investor point of view.
What's the company's plan going forward?
There's an enormous quantity of basic research, and there are very, very few companies out there in the public markets, and very few in the venture capital markets that are positioned to take this basic research from across the country and develop it into products. We are that one company in Canada, and by way of example, the Center for the Commercialization of regenerative medicine related to the University Health Network, University of Toronto, is in the business of finding partners to develop their, the discoveries that are made at every hospital across this province. And we are positioning ourselves to be one of the partners of choice for the CCRM.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break right now, but when we return, our biotechnology investment expert, Brian Bloom, will join us again and keep him honest. Stay tuned and find out whose company he thinks might be worth your money.